are you, sir?
Good morning. How are you?
What's going on this morning?
Can I get your name and badge number first?
Sure.
Please? You take a step back, you're too close.
Can I get your identification, please?
Why?
Why? Because you're taking pictures of a federal terminal, which is a Homeland Security issue.
Are you Homeland Security?
Yes.
Seems like you're
Yep.
a regular police department.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with
Homeland
exercising
Security
my
is
First
done by
Amendment.
everybody. It's done by everybody. It's the Homeland Security.
Is it a crime
Right.
to exercise my rights on a public sidewalk?
What? To take pictures of a federal
From the public sidewalk.
transportation terminal is, yes.
From the public
Is it-
sidewalk.
I'm asking for your identification so we can.
What crime do you suspect me of committing?
I'm asking for your identification
And I'm
so we
declining.
know who you are, so we can investigate
David.
this further. What's that?
I'm Dave. You didn't want to identify yourself.
I just gave you my name. My name is right here, and my
What if I
badge number
couldn't-
is right here. I told you.
Respectfully, sir, I'm not trying to argue with you, but what if I couldn't read?
What if you can read? My name is Reed. R-E-E-D. My badge number is 4861.
It's just about being
Is that
professional.
okay?
Yeah, because you
That's
never
professional,
people you come
right?
across.
And I'm asking you for your identification now.
What I'm saying is, people that you come, I'm sure you come across a lot of people.
Right.
You can't.
All right, guys, buckle up. Because what starts as a calm morning on a public sidewalk quickly turns into a pressure test of constitutional rights. Officers approach immediately, not with curiosity, but with control. The objective? Intimidation. The accusation? Photography near a federal transportation terminal. They invoke Homeland Security, hint at threats, and subtly escalate the tone. But here's the problem. Standing on a public sidewalk and taking pictures is not a crime. Yet from the very first seconds, you can feel the strategy unfolding. Create suspicion, suggest danger, and push for identification. This is how many encounters begin, not with law, but with implication. The Fourth Amendment hangs in the balance, and the question becomes clear. Will this citizen fold under pressure, or will he stand firm and demand constitutional clarity?
Assume that everybody could read.
Okay, I got your
So
point.
to
And then
verbalize it,
I got your point,
It's
and I just
courteous
told
and
you.
professional.
You need to understand that there was a bomb threat here last week.
I didn't know. I'm not from here. I'm a tourist.
Well, I'm telling you.
So I see something
Well,
that's interesting to me, and I'm
We're
recording
trying
it.
to
I'm
justify
advising
ourselves.
you that there was a bomb threat here last week.
I'm
You
sorry to hear that.
Harassing.
Harassing?
They said that you were harassing
gotta
them
be-
over there. All right.
You gotta investigate.
I'm asking. Well, that's why I'm talking to you.
Okay.
So
It seems
there's
like
a bomb
you're.
threat. You were over there talking to the
I didn't say anything to
employees.
anybody.
Okay.
I have everything on
I
camera.
don't know what you're doing. That's why I'm
Exactly,
trying to
so-
figure out what's going on.
Okay,
We're
it
just
seems you're
asking.
saying
We're
that.
just asking for your identification, so we know who you are.
The only reason
in case
why-
something
I'm gonna take a
happens
step
in the
back.
future. Sure.
The only reason why I give identification is if you suspect me of committing a crime. Do you suspect me of committing a crime?
No, you're on
You
a
don't know
public
yet.
sidewalk
You
right
might.
now,
So
but
then
You might. We
so
want to
investigate.
identify you in case something
Investigate.
happens. What's that?
Investigate, because I don't
We
give
are
my ID.
investigating, and part of our investigation is to
He's
get your
talking to you.
identification.
Do you have reasonable articulable suspicion that I committed a crime, in committing a crime, or about to commit a crime?
Yes.
What crime?
What's that?
What crime do you are you?
You're taking video, which
I'm
might
exercising my-
might lead to some type of terrorist act, right? We don't know.
you're
We don't know
stretching.
that.
I'm with my
How
family.
do you know that?
I'm with my. I just told you know how you don't know that because I told you I've never been here. I'm a tourist. I'm with my family. This is interesting, so I took a picture
and just okay
from the public
to,
sidewalk.
to take your
Listen, I just want to
like
cut
you.
this. I want to make this simple. Can
Just
we
like,
make this simple?
Sure. Just like you
Can
were
we-
trying to articulate that not everybody knows how to read and write, right?
Well, you
I'm
should
trying
know
to
that. That should be
articulate
your- Go ahead.
that.
Now the tension builds. Officers attempt to justify the stop by referencing a bomb threat from the previous week. Notice the shift from accusation to investigation. They admit they don't suspect a specific crime, yet they still demand ID just in case. That phrase right there is critical. Just in case is not reasonable articulable suspicion. The citizen calmly asks the right question. What crime do you suspect me of committing? The response? Vague suggestions that filming might lead to something. That's speculation, not law. This is where many people crumble. Fear of authority, fear of escalation. But instead of reacting emotionally, he stays composed, keeps recording, and forces them to articulate their position. And that's when you start seeing the cracks. Because when law meets confidence, intimidation begins to lose power.
That we have no idea exactly what
And this
your
is why you
intentions are.
investigate. This is why you
Right.
investigate.
We are
You see me
investigating.
with-
Part of our investigation
you
is
see me
to
with
ask
my
for your
family's kids.
identification.
Why
Right.
we're talking to you.
Okay.
Exactly.
You said first you accused me of harassing. Harassment is a repetitive
said that-
option.
okay,
It's a repetitive
so-
action.
That's what they told
I didn't
me.
say
That's
nothing
why I'm
to them.
talking to you to figure out what
Okay.
the deal
And I
is.
told you I have everything on camera. I didn't say
That's
nothing
fine.
to them.
Okay. Can we
Okay.
see what was on camera then? You don't have to. I mean, I just
You
want
don't have to take my word because I told you I didn't say anything to them. Me taking
They're
pictures.
saying that you
Listen,
were talking
listen.
to them. That's the thing is, I'm in two different stories.
After they started talking to me, I didn't initiate
Okay.
contact. They initiated contact with me.
So you guys are. So,
So
you
if
were
anything,
talking to each other at
they're
some point.
harassing me.
You're on their private property.
The public. This is a public sidewalk.
This is public, yes.
So
but
what's that right
over
there? That's not a public sidewalk.
So where were you exactly?
On the public sidewalk.
Where?
On the
that
public
side?
sidewalk.
Okay, that doesn't describe where you are. Where on the
Regardless,
sidewalk?
that's public access.
Okay.
That's public access. That's open to the public. That's public access. Is that not
Listen,
public access? Is that not an
You're
easement?
making something harder.
Let me
It
ask you a
doesn't have to be
question.
that
I just want to ask you one
difficult
question. Is that not a public easement?
This is public, yes. But
Exactly.
were you on their property? That's what they
I
told
stepped
us.
on their property. They asked me to leave. I left.
Okay, so you
I
were
wanted
on
to
their,
go-
so
I
we
was-
established
listen.
you were on their property.
I took-
filming the ferry.
No, I wasn't filming. I took 2 steps on. Regardless, in order to trespass me, you have to ask me to
We're
leave.
not trespassing you.
Listen,
We're just trying to figure out what the deal is.
And I'm
That's
telling
it.
you, it's simple. I was taking pictures on the public sidewalk. They didn't like it.
Okay.
I have a First Amendment right. It's a protected
have a-
activity.
yeah, absolutely.
So I don't understand
I'm all about
why.
your First
Listen,
Amendment right, but-
listen. So you need to educate them. That's it.
Well, I'm trying to educate you too. It's a federal terminal.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're just-
There's a
we're
bomb
just-
threat last week. There's
It's
stuff
as
that goes
simple-
on here.
It's
I'm
as
sorry
simple
about
as
that.
you showing your identification. We say thank you very much, sir, and you're on your way.
You know why?
You know what I'm saying?
Because I
Just in case something happens
told you
later,
my
we
name
have
is-
an ID.
I told you my name is David. You see my face. They took a picture of me.
Things escalate further when trespass is introduced into the conversation. Officers claim he stepped onto private property. He counters immediately. He left when asked. That's key. Trespass requires refusal to leave. No refusal, no crime. But watch how the narrative keeps shifting. First harassment, then terrorism suspicion. Now trespass. When one justification collapses, another takes its place. This is textbook pressure cycling. The citizen doesn't shout. He doesn't insult. He simply repeats the constitutional foundation. Photography from a public sidewalk is protected activity. The officers continue pushing the ID request, framing it as simple cooperation. But cooperation is voluntary when no crime exists. The energy changes here. The officers realize they're not dealing with someone unaware. And once authority meets knowledge, the dynamic flips.
I'm with my family, right? What about that?
We're
let's keep
asking
it
for your
simple.
identification. Right.
All you have to do is
let's
educate
keep
them.
this simple. Exactly.
Listen.
Let's keep this simple.
Educate them. Listen, he's a citizen on the public sidewalk exercising his First Amendment right,
They know
which
that.
is a protected activity.
They know that. That's
So I
why.
understand.
That's why
It
you're.
shoulda ended
That's
right
why
there.
nothing.
It
That's
shoulda
why
ended-
nothing is happening right now except for
Exactly.
us trying to get your name. That's all.
And I told you my name, David.
Okay. Well, can you if you show me your identification
I just
again?
told you already.
Well, you're on your way.
Sir,
I don't
I told you
understand
already.
what the problem is. Just like you're, you know.
Because I don't show ID unless you suspect me of committing a crime. Me exercising my First Amendment right is not a crime. Photography is not a crime, no matter how they feel.
Okay.
You're not a feelings enforcer, you're a law enforcer. So you tell them, listen,
I
he has a First
wholeheartedly
Amendment
agree.
right that you guys took an oath, swore to protect.
But when, like I
There's
said,
no
we're
but.
investigating.
On their
We're
property,
I
investigating
stepped
what
on to go
might
speak to a
happen.
supervisor. They asked me to
Okay.
leave, I left.
Okay, that's fine. But
Period.
you still, at one point, were on their property and you were filming the ferry.
I wasn't
That's
filming
it.
when I went on their property.
See, I don't. Well, that's why I'm talking to you.
And
I
I'm
gotta figure
telling
out
you.
what the story is. That's your story.
Okay,
They have
that's
a
still
story
public
too.
access.
They still. You have a story. They have a story.
Sir, that's public access.
Okay. But
There's somebody, people with, you know how many cars right now have cameras and dash cams?
no, probably a ton of them.
Exactly.
And
So
you
what's the
can't-
problem?
Nothing. It's just I told you.
I think
They're
this
worried about it
conversation is
'cause-
over. There's
Okay,
nothing to
that's
worry
fine.
about.
If you don't want to talk anymore, that's fine. But
I don't
just
even have
trying to-
your
I'm trying to explain to
identification
you
number.
what
You didn't even
happened.
identify yourself.
Police Officer Parker,
Okay.
Shield 6708.
Okay. I'm gonna be on my way, all right?
That's
You
fine,
guys have a
brother.
blessed day. Can I get your name and badge number?
Sure.
Cataletta 7278.
Nice to meet you.
Too.
God bless you guys, all right?
Enjoy
All right,
your,
have a great day. Did you educate them? Let them know that the citizens have a right to record from the public sidewalk?
They know that, but
so I
when
don't
you're on their
understand why
property,
you come to me and bother me.
Now we enter the stalemate phase. The officers soften their tone but continue pressing. It's as simple as showing your identification. That line is powerful because it attempts to minimize a constitutional boundary. The citizen pushes back respectfully. Exercising First Amendment rights is not grounds for detention. Photography is not illegal. Feelings are not law. And that statement cuts deep. You can sense frustration rising, not because of aggression, but because compliance isn't automatic. The badge numbers are exchanged, names are given. Professionalism becomes the battlefield. This is no longer about pictures. It's about precedent. If he hands over ID without suspicion, it sets a tone. If he refuses calmly, it reinforces the boundary. And that's exactly what happens here.
I'm not bothering you. I'm investigating what happened.
There's really nothing to it. I was taking pictures on the public sidewalk. They didn't like it.
Okay.
So you shouldn't enforce feelings. You should
I'm not forcing
uphold your
feelings.
oath. Please.
How am I not?
Just
You're free to
educate
go.
them.
I'm not
Listen,
saying anything
of
you're
course,
not
I'm
allowed
not
to
saying.
do.
I don't commit crimes.
Well, that's
your
why
man is trying to harass me for my ID.
Sir, we're trying to figure out what the deal was. That's it.
I think I've been
It's
more
a federal
than-
terminal.
Who funds the federal government?
Everybody does it.
Exactly.
I'm sure you do too.
Exactly. So they're ignorant to our rights. You guys know our rights.
I
so
have to investigate what's still going on.
I understand.
I have to talk to you.
I understand.
and see what the deal
I hope
is.
you educated them.
Well, I'm going to talk to them
Please
and
do.
see what they
Please
want to do.
Because this is a tourist town.
Because I'm sure they're not going to want you back on their property.
That's public access. What if I need to take the ferry? That's like the
Still a
NTA.
private, it's still a private company.
NTA is a private.
They can refuse you going on the ferry.
The NTA is a private company, but it's public access, right?
They can refuse.
I'm not
they
sure
can
about the
refuse you to
NTA,
ride
but-
there too.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
This is a
That's fine.
It's fair.
Yeah, it's a private business.
That's fine.
They can refuse. Yeah.
But they have to tell you, hey, we want him trespassed. And I'm not going on the property. I don't need to take the ferry. The only reason why I took 2 steps on there was to speak to a supervisor about the guy recording me while I'm eating breakfast. That's it. They said get off the property. I left. I know how to trespass and laws go. You know what I mean?
Trespassing you. We just.
Well, you can't. I'm not
just
on
saying.
their property.
Well, I'm telling you, you were on their property at
For
some
2
point.
seconds. Yeah.
Okay.
They asked me to leave. I left.
And that's fine.
All right, that's fine then.
That's what I'm
it.
saying. So I don't see the
So,
issue.
yeah.
The issue is they don't like that I was taking pictures from the public sidewalk.
But they have the right to do that.
Exactly. That's where you guys come in and educate them. Simple. I didn't know
We
about
wanna
no
talk
bomb
to
threat or
you.
nothing like that. I've never been here. I'm taking pictures.
They're on
They
heightened
didn't
alert
like
because
it.
of the
I understand
the
that.
bomb threat last
But
week.
it's always because
So
you
it's-
guys work for the public. It's about being respectful and cordial. Hey, this
I
is
feel
what
like
happened.
we've
They
been
could come.
respectful
You
and
see how you
cordial
came
to
up?
you. We're
Yeah.
talking to you.
The conversation shifts toward property rights and public access versus private ownership. Officers warn that the ferry company may not want him back. Again, a subtle pressure tactic. Suggest future restriction, suggest exclusion. But the citizen dismantles the confusion. Public access areas funded by taxpayers are not secret zones. If asked to leave, he leaves. That's compliance with lawful order, not surrender of rights. The officers attempt one last angle, suggesting that for all we know, he could have been involved in the prior bomb threat. That's pure hypothetical leverage, and he calls it out without aggression. This is the difference between emotional confrontation and constitutional defense. He stays calm, repeats his stance, and refuses to trade liberty for convenience.
You say you came up here. Listen, there was a bomb threat here, so they might be on high alert. I understand that.
All right.
But to be yelling, and
I'm not
cursing,
trying
come
to
on,
yell at
not
you,
you.
no.
I'm talking about them.
Oh, okay.
I don't
See, I don't
initiate.
know what. I don't
Listen,
know
I
the
record
whole
in public all the
conversation between
time.
you and
We're on
them.
here. Just
Listen,
like we don't know what you
and
did.
that's
We
your
don't know what they
investigation. I'm
did.
helping. I'm helping you, right? But I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get my ID because I don't commit crimes. You understand? So I tell you my name. I'm David. You clearly see my face.
But the thing,
My
like,
tattoo,
you
so-
understand where we're coming from.
I understand
For all
perfectly.
we were,
I
for
understand
all we
perfectly.
know, you were the one that called last week. You know what I'm saying?
No,
We don't
no.
know that, but we don't know that, right?
I'm from the Bronx, baby. We don't
Just
do
like,
that.
okay, just like you don't know who I am. I don't know who you are.
Well, you're
Right,
Officer
and I
Reed.
identified myself, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
I had
identified my
to
name.
like
No, you
yank it
didn't.
out of you.
I gave it to it. It's right here on my
Yeah,
shirt.
well, you want to be courteous. You want to be courteous to people because not everybody can read.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Just professional. This is my name. This is my badge number. That way, there's no confusion. You know
but
this
why
is
don't?
this.
But again, so common courtesy, right, would be when we're asking you for identification.
Well, you're a public servant. I'm not a public servant. I'm a private citizen. So it's my choice whether I want to be courteous or not. You have to be courteous. That's your policy. All due respect.
Okay.
You know. I just hope you guys truly honor your oath.
Okay, so
and
you're
just
done here,
educate
right?
them.
You're done.
Yeah, I'm eating breakfast with my family, bro. I just hope you educate them. That's it. And
Talk
have a
to
great day,
them.
okay?
But I'm telling you right now, they're not going to want you on their property.
That's fine. I'm not from here. I tell you, I'm visiting. I'm touring. That's it.
All right, no, that's
Have a great
fine.
day, okay?
All right, Dave, you too, man.
Did I get your name?
Shane, Parker.
Nice to meet you. God bless you, okay? Have a great day, Officer Reed.
And just like that, the encounter winds down. Not with handcuffs, not with arrest, but with departure. No crime established, no lawful basis for detention, just pressure applied and pressure resisted. The final lesson hits hard. Police are legally allowed to lie during investigations. That alone should motivate every citizen to understand their rights. Knowledge is armor, recording is protection, calm confidence is leverage. This wasn't about being difficult. It was about preserving constitutional boundaries in real time. So remember this moment, remember how fast suspicion was created, and remember how it dissolved under informed resistance. Stay aware, stay calm, know the law, and always document your encounters. Because accountability begins with a camera and a citizen who refuses to surrender their rights.